However, just as Zhou walked out of the beginner-grade Lord's Paradise, he saw a beautiful figure waiting for him at the door. It was Lu Kai'er. Zhou was stunned. Lu Kai'er's eyes lit up when he saw him. Then, she immediately came to him. "I didn't expect the soldiers to be right. You're really up early. I thought I would have to wait for a while. Do you need me for something?" Zhou reacted. Lu Kai'er nodded and told him about her sudden breakthrough. She also asked Zhou if it was because of his territory. Zhou thought for a moment and had a guess. "I think I have an idea why. Go take a look at the Imperial Ancestral Temple in my territory. The ancestors of our cerulean planet are worshipped in the race building of the Imperial Ancestral Temple. One of the human ancestors is called Sun Simiao. His ancestral enhancement effect is to help the physician professionals in the territory. When treating illnesses and saving people, there is a chance that they will comprehend more medical theories and increase the probability of breaking through by 10%. The reason why you can suddenly comprehend medical knowledge and break through on the immortal divine medicine doctor should be related to ancestor Sun Simiao," Zhou explained patiently. The two of them had just woken up and should still be familiarizing themselves with their hero abilities. He did not have to rush over too quickly. He would resolve this person's doubts first. "I see. I knew there was something wrong with my breakthrough," Lu Kai'er said suddenly. She decided to pay her respects to the human ancestor of the cerulean planet, Sun Simiao, later. Even though this cerulean planet's human ancestor was not her ancestor, he was at least a human like her and taught her and cleared her doubts. He could be said to be a teacher of hers. Even though Lu Kai'er had a willful personality, she had been taught since she was young to respect her teacher. She would still complete basic etiquette. "Where are you going?" Then the two of them chatted for a while. Lu Kai'er suddenly thought of something and asked curiously. Zhou did not hide anything from Lu Kai'er, who was now his subject. He told him about Wu Tu and Luo Sheng. Lu Kai'er was shocked. Two heroes? Her teacher status was not low in the entire human race, so she had come into contact with many heroes since she was young. She also became a hero when she grew up too. However, this did not make her feel that heroes were very ordinary people. On the contrary, it was precisely because of this that she understood the meaning of having the two new heroes even more. Moreover, as far as she knew, there were more than two heroes in this territory. Now, there were actually two more. "I think I've joined an amazing territory." Lu Kai'er was surprised. Zhou, how many heroes are there in our territory?" She could not help but ask curiously. "7 of them, including you." Zhou thought for a moment and said, "Dragon King of Volcano and Destruction Nazario, Blood Fire Arrow Elf, Baiyun, Dragon Horse Spear General Wu Xian, Ten-Directional Martial Emperor, Feng Luo, Immortal Divine Medicine Doctor Lu Kai'er, Soul Arrow Wu Tu, Ghost God General Luo Sheng." This did not include the unused hero inheritance slot in the Night Temple. Otherwise, there would be 8 heroes. Lu Kai'er's mouth fell open. 7 heroes? This was much stronger than many veteran kingdom-level factions. Zhou looked at the girl in front of him and could guess what she was thinking. However, he did not say much. He only said that he wanted to see the 2 new heroes. When Lu Kai'er heard this, she immediately said that she wanted to take a look together. Zhou did not refuse. Then, the two of them walked towards Wu Tu's residence. Soldiers were guarding this place to prevent anyone from entering and disturbing the existence inside. These soldiers had been guarding the people inside ever since they received the order last night. At this moment, they saw the Lord walking over and the doctor beside him who had saved many of their brothers yesterday. "Greetings, my lord." "Greetings, medical immortal," the soldiers and subjects said. Zhou and Lu Kai smiled and nodded. Creak. The door suddenly opened. Then Wu Tu and Luo Sheng walked out and bowed respectfully to Zhou. "Greetings, my lord." After the two of them sensed the Lord's aura, they immediately emerged before they had the time to check their hero abilities. "Get up." Zhou smiled and felt the aura emitted by the two of them. Then, he sensed that the auras around the two of them were already quite perfect and powerful. Moreover, they naturally emitted the pressure of a hero slot with extremely strong suppression. However, it could be seen that the two of them were trying their best to control this pressure. It was just that this was the first time they had encountered this and were a little unfamiliar with it. Looks like the two of you have perfectly inherited your respective hero slots. Jojo smiled. This is all thanks to my lord. The two of them suppressed their excitement and said respectfully. When the surrounding soldiers in charge of guarding heard this, they immediately looked at the two of them enviously. They had already heard about it. The two people in front of them had been bestowed with the extremely precious hero inheritance precisely because they had been recognized by the Lord. This alone was not what the soldiers envied the most. What made them the most envious was that one of them was an underage youth. He was bestowed the hero inheritance by the Lord because he had followed the Lord for a long time and made many contributions. The other person's hero inheritance came from the military merit quests issued by the Lord. This young soldier called Luo Shang had completed the Lord's military merit quests under fair competition. That was why he obtained this hero inheritance that countless people envied. The subjects of the Blazing Sun territory naturally had no objections to the Lord distributing the hero inheritance like this. Instead, they revered their Lord even more. All the living beings in the high continent knew how precious the hero inheritance was. However, their Lord was willing to let them compete fairly. It could be seen that the Lord really did not treat them as outsiders. At the same time, Jojo smiled when he saw their reactions. Then, he looked at their attribute information. Subject: Wu 2, Hero Unit. Hero Title: Soul Arrow, Position. Epic Tier Heroes Fate Level, Territory. Blazing Sun Territory, Strength Level. Diamond Tier Elementary Grade, Ability Overview. He had the talent of image memory ever since he was young. He could record the scenery he saw with his brush. He took the initiative to join the army and became a military cartographer for the sake of his family's livelihood. Later, he joined the Blazing Sun territory and became a cartographer valued by the Lord of the Blazing Sun. He made many contributions to the Lord of the Blazing Sun's conquest of the territory and was bestowed with the hero inheritance, becoming the legendary Soul Arrow. Bloodline: Human Bloodline, Yellow Gold Tier Intermediate Grade, 100%. Skills: Talent, Image Memory. Hero Skill Heaven and Earth Heart Arrow. Hero Skill, Great Ice Seal. Epic Tier Intermediate Grade Enhanceable Flying Arrow Clone Technique. White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade Map Making Skill. White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade Terrain Recognition. White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade Monster Recognition. White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade Medicinal Herb Recognition. White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade Mineral Recognition. White Platinum Tier Intermediate Grade Map, Kingdom Beginning City. Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade Map, Dark Night Town. White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Green Forest. Loyalty, 100. Potential. Epic Tier Advanced Grade Hero Biography. 1. He explored a large number of enemy territories and the distribution of enemy forces for the human Lord of the Blazing Sun and made countless contributions before he became a hero. He was the sharp blade in the hands of the Lord of the Blazing Sun, making countless fog monsters and people of foreign races fear him. Hero's Personal Reputation Rating +1, Human Race Reputation +100. 2. Under the blessing of the human Lord, Lord of the Blazing Sun, he obtained the hero inheritance of the Soul Arrow and became the 4th generation Soul Arrow. Hero's Personal Reputation Rating +1, Human Race Reputation +10,000. High Continent Reputation +5. Subject: Luo Shang, Hero. Hero Title: Ghost God General. Position: Epic Tier Heroes Fate Level, Territory. Blazing Sun Territory, Strength Level. Extraordinary Tier Elementary Grade, Ability Overview. Luo Shang was born in a military family. He had been determined to join the army since he was young, and had displayed his outstanding military potential and talents very early on. Luo Shang passed the family's test at the age of 14 and was approved to join the army after constantly learning and training. However, Luo Shang was greatly disappointed with the Lord that he had served. He killed the Lord and released the subjects under him, and then wandered again to find the hero he yearned for. Now Luo Shang had come to serve the human lord, the Blazing Sun. In his eyes, the Lord of the Blazing Sun seemed to be the peerless hero he yearned for that can lead the world to a better place. He had already decided to offer all his loyalty to him. Bloodline, human bloodline, legendary tier elementary grade, 100%. Skills. Talent, battlefield general. Hero skill, ghost god military morale. Hero skill, unparalleled ghost god. Epic tier intermediate grade enhanceable ghost god demon slaying halberd. Epic tier intermediate grade enhanceable ghost god violent storm. Epic tier intermediate grade enhanceable suppressing evil halberd. Extraordinary tier elementary grade sword and shield combo. Extraordinary tier elementary grade archery. Extraordinary tier elementary grade battlefield fencing. Extraordinary tier elementary grade spearmanship. Diamond tier advanced grade battle array theory and practice. Diamond tier elementary grade furry array. Loyalty, 100, dead loyal. Potential, high-level deity elementary grade. Hero biography. 1. His battlefield talent began to appear before he became a hero. He went to the battlefield and left some legends on the battlefield when he was young. The hero's personal reputation rating +1, human reputation +50. 2. Under the blessing of the human lord of the Blazing Sun, he obtained the hero inheritance of the Ghost God General and became the second-generation Ghost God General. The hero's personal reputation rating +1, human reputation +10, 000, high continent reputation +5. After reading their attributes, Zhou could not help but smile. 2 more hero-level combatants had appeared in his territory. Moreover, Luo Shang surprised him even more. Originally, this kid's potential was already at the legendary tier elementary grade before he advanced to a hero skill. Now, he had actually skipped 3 levels in a row and directly increased his potential from the legendary tier to high-level god tier elementary grade. Normally speaking, the hero's potential would not increase by so much even with the enhancement of the hero slot. But Luo Shang had done just that. Zhou suddenly recalled that the other party had once told him that he had once killed several green bronze tier enemies on the battlefield as an ordinary person without a profession. It seemed that Luo Shang was really suitable for this hero inheritance. Only when the hero inheritance was extremely compatible with the hero inheritance would the potential of the hero inheritance suddenly increase by so much. Get ready. Report to Bai Yun later and ask her to arrange a deputy commander position for you. Then we'll go out and fight. Zhou said. Yes, my lord. The 2 of them said respectfully. Zhou nodded and threw something to Luo Shang. Luo Shang subconsciously took it and realized that it was a blood wolf carving. I see you have foundation in military formations. This is an extraordinary tier military treasure. It records a military formation called the Greedy Wolf Howling Moon Array. Study and master this military formation as soon as possible. If you want to speed up your research, you can go to my beginner grade Lord's Paradise. There's a battle room there that can help you speed up your mastery of this battle formation. Zhou said. I will definitely master the Greedy Wolf Howling Moon Array as soon as possible. Luo Shang was stunned for a moment before nodding seriously. Zhou acknowledged. Then he looked at Wu Tu, who had a hint of envy in his eyes. Wu Tuesday. From today onwards, our territory will start producing Starry Night and Black Ghost. The first Starry Night and Black Ghost should have been created by now. Go and get it from Wanya. From now on, these 2 spaceships will be assigned to the Heavenly Army. Zhou said. Thank you, my lord. Wu Tu was stunned for a moment before saying excitedly. As someone who had been on the Starry Night and Black Ghost, he naturally knew how much benefits these 2 spaceships would bring to the Heavenly Army if they joined them. It was not an exaggeration to say that it was like adding wings to a tiger. Previously, he was a little envious of Luo Shang, who had just arrived at the Blazing Sun territory. He had actually received an important position from the Lord so quickly. He wasn't envious at all now. He had 2 spaceships now. Was there anyone else amongst the soldiers of Blazing Sun territory with such an honor? He was the only one. Zhou could not help but smile when he saw their reactions. After the 3 of them chatted for a while, Wu Tu and Luo Shang went to the Blazing Sun Army's base. Meanwhile, Zhou led Lu Kai'er towards the Night Temple. Along the way, he got a soldier to call Suin over. Congratulations, you've gained 2 more hero-level combat power. Lu Kai'er still didn't know why Zhou had called Suin over, but she didn't ask. She said to Zhou with a complicated tone as she walked. Even someone as knowledgeable as her was stunned by Zhou's luck. 7 hero-level combatants. Coupled with the methods used to revive her and various other unbelievable methods. Who would believe that this was the foundation of a lord who had just arrived in the High Continent less than a month ago? Even the kings of veteran kingdom-level factions would be dumbfounded and doubt their lives if they were here. Zhou smiled and did not say anything. Soon, Suin came over. Greetings, my lord. Suin carried the blood shadow sword on his back and bowed in confusion. He did not know why his lord had called him over. Were they going to the battlefield? Come with me. Zhou did not say much. He brought the confused Suin and Lu Kai to the Night Temple. I want to see Temple Lord Bai He. Zhou said to the Holy Shield Knight guarding the door. The Temple Lord is busy every day. How can you meet him just because you want to? The Holy Shield Knight frowned. It's about the resurrection of the hero. Zhou said slowly. The 2 Holy Shield Knights were stunned and did not know what to say. The Night Temple and even some of the upper echelons of the human race already knew that Zhou could revive a hero. Lu Kai'er was a living example. Could he revive their human heroes again? The 2 Holy Shield Knights looked at Zhou with respect and even worship. I'll report it now. The tone of the Holy Shield Knight who spoke earlier changed drastically. After saying that politely, he immediately turned around and ran into the hall. The 3 of you can wait in the reception room with me, another Holy Shield Knight said. Zhou nodded and entered the Night Temple. Zhou, Lu Kai'er, and Suin were waiting in the reception room. Among them, Zhou was leisurely drinking the drinks that the Night Temple had just sent over. It had to be said, this kind of high-end beverage was indeed extraordinary. With his chaos human bloodline, he actually felt a little comfortable after drinking it. On his left, Lu Kai'er was deep in thought. She just wanted to ask what was going on with her breakthrough. Why was she suddenly involved in such a big matter like the resurrection of a hero? However, she was actually looking forward to this. Which human hero was Zhou going to revive this time? Many famous heroes in the history of the human race immediately appeared in her mind. On the other side, Suin, who did not know what was going on the entire time, was sitting on Zhou's right with a blank expression. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing here? Suin, who was completely unaware of the situation, did not know what to do except to remain silent. However, he was very calm. He would just obey the Lord whatever happens next since he had brought him here. Soon, Temple Lord Bai He came over. Beside him was his disciple, the Silver Meteorite Knight Rob Allen. You can resurrect heroes again? Bai He asked as soon as they met. Not yet. However, my subordinate is the Cardinal of the Goddess of Life. Temple Lord Bai knows that she has mastered a divine art called the Great Resurrection Spell. Resurrecting heroes is very difficult for others, but I just have to satisfy my Cardinal's conditions. So what? Rob Allen could not help but ask. This made Temple Lord Bai He glare at him, causing Rob Allen to lower his head resentfully. Tell me, what do you want? If Temple Lord Bai He didn't understand what Zhou meant, he would have wasted his years as a guardian of the human race. I want to apply for the inheritance of a low-tier god-tier assassin-type heroic spirit for one of my subordinates. I don't want the extraordinary tier heroic spirit inheritance that the Night Temple has rewarded me with, Zhou said. As soon as this was mentioned, Bai He and Rob Allen widened their eyes. Even Lu Kai'er and Bai He were stunned. They looked at Zhou and only had one thought in their minds. How dare this guy/lord? The scene fell silent. Among the 5 people present, Suin was the most confused. At least a low-tier god-tier assassin hero inheritance. Could it be? An unbelievable thought appeared in his mind. Could it be that the Lord is asking for the hero inheritance for me? Thinking about it this way, everything made sense now. No wonder his lord had sent someone to look for him so early in the morning and had brought him here without any explanation. It turned out that the lord wanted to get me a hero inheritance. However, Suin still found it unbelievable even though he had guessed it. At the same time, he was deeply grateful. He had been in the assassin organization for a long time. His heart had already become incomparably cold with the repeated assassination quests. In his incomplete memory, there was almost no superior who treated him so well like the Lord. This made him feel a little uncomfortable at this moment. He felt that such benefits should not fall on him. However, what Bai he said next made him give up on this last thought. Is that him? When Bai he heard Zhou Zhou's ridiculous request, he didn't reject it immediately. Instead, his gaze landed on Suin. Under the gaze of this top-notch human expert, even though Suin's mental fortitude was extremely strong, he still felt immense pressure. Zhou Zhou nodded after hearing Bai He's words. How is he? Not bad, right? This is a rare good seedling for our human race, he said with a smile. Bai He didn't say anything upon hearing this as he continued to scrutinize Suin. A moment later, even though his expression did not change, his heart was trembling. His gaze was extremely vicious. Under his observation, Suin's background could be said to be totally transparent to him. It was also because of this that he realized that this human youth was just as the Lord of the Blazing Sun had said. He was truly a rare human genius. In fact, his potential was much higher than his disciple Rob Allen. One had to know that as the top guardian of the human race and the only temple lord of the Night Temple, his standards were naturally extremely high. Otherwise, he would not only have Rob Allen and a few other disciples after being a high-level human for so many years. It could be seen how satisfied he was with Rob Allen when he first saw him. And today he saw a human genius with higher potential than Rob Allen. One could imagine the shock in his heart. Actually, when he first heard Zhou Zhou's request, his first thought was to reject it. The hero inheritance of a god-tier hero. There were less than 5 of them in the entire human race. Naturally, he would not agree just because of Zhou Zhou's words. Now that he saw Suin in person, the determination in his heart became a little hesitant. This child had astonishing potential. If there was no problem with his character, it was not impossible to give him the hero inheritance. Zhou Zhou's 6 senses were sharp, so he quickly sensed Bai He's hesitation. He immediately struck while the iron was hot and expressed his confidence in making his request. If the Night Temple is willing to give my subordinate a god-tier hero inheritance, I can resurrect 3 human heroes for free in the future, Zhou Zhou said. Bai He's heart jolted. Rob Allen, Lu Kaier, and Suin were also very shocked. The hero inheritance of a god-tier hero is no small matter. I can't decide it myself. I want to see his potential first, Bai He said after a long silence. Okay. Zhou Zhou immediately agreed. He might be a little more cowardly about other things, but potential? The best thing about Suin was his potential. When I say potential, I'm not just referring to his potential. It includes his character. Every hero inheritance of a god-tier hero is the foundation of our human race. I don't want the hero inheritance to nurture a great enemy of the human race in the future, Bai He said calmly. Zhou Zhou nodded in agreement and asked, Temple Lord Bai, how do you plan to test my subordinate's character? Let's go to the Heroic Spirit Hall. The Heroic Spirit Seniors will naturally see through his mind. Bai He looked deeply at Zhou Zhou and Suin before speaking. There's no time to lose. Come with me. After Bai He finished speaking, he turned around and walked out. Zhou Zhou immediately pulled Suin to his feet and followed Bai He. Only Lu Kaier and Rob Allen were left in the room. The 2 of them were in disbelief. Bai He actually gave him a chance? However, when they thought of Zhou Zhou's conditions, the 3 of them understood. These heroes were dead. However, if the heroes who had passed away could be revived, it would be a real revival of the human race. In addition, if that person's potential was really good, it was not impossible to give him a god-tier hero inheritance. The 2 of them didn't think too much about it and hurriedly chased after them. Soon, the 5 of them arrived at the Heroic Spirit Hall. A 3-meter-tall human with purple eyes was sitting leisurely at the entrance of the hall. It was the Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea that Zhou had not seen for a long time. Behind him were 2 teams of Guardian Knights wearing gorgeous golden armor with serious expressions. Temple Lord. When the Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea saw Bai He, it immediately stood up and said respectfully. Then he saw Zhou and the others behind Bai He. Have you decided to use the remaining heroic spirit hero slot? The Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea smiled at Zhou. Zhou could not explain it well, so he only smiled and nodded. This lord is quite ambitious. What he wants this time is not the extraordinary tier hero inheritance, but the god tier hero inheritance. Bai He smiled and said. The Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea clicked his tongue in wonder. Then, his gaze shifted and landed on Suin, who was behind him. He raised his eyebrows and said in surprise, "This kid has good potential. Open the door." Bai He nodded and did not say anything else. Yes, the Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea nodded. Then, with a wave of his right hand, the 2 teams of Guardian Knights behind him opened the heavy door of the Heroic Spirit Hall. Blazing Sun, Suin, come in. Little Kyer and Rob Allen will guard the door, Bai He said. Then he walked towards the Heroic Spirit Hall. Zhou and Suin followed him in. Why are they only letting them in? I want to go in and take a look too. Lu Kyer muttered softly with a dissatisfied expression. She really wanted to know how many heroic spirits would open their eyes and look at the human brought by the Lord of the Blazing Sun, Little Ant. You have to choose the place to be willful. The Heroic Spirit Hall is not such a place. Rob broke out in cold sweat for this young lady. Got it. Lu Kyer pouted and did not say anything else. At this moment, the Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea looked at the gradually closing door of the hall and reacted. Temple Lord Bai gave them a chance to obtain the inheritance of a god-tier heroic spirit. Well, that person's aptitude was not bad. It could even be said that he was the most talented young man he had ever seen in his life. However, it shouldn't be to the extent of giving the other party a god-tier hero inheritance just because he had good aptitude, right? Therefore, how much benefits had this Lord of the Blazing Sun given the Night Temple to make Temple Lord Bai willing to pay a god-tier hero inheritance? The Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea was surprised. In the Heroic Spirit Hall, when Zhou and the others first entered, they immediately felt the huge pressure from the heroic spirits of more than 300 heroes. However, Suin had the dragon-slaying will, and Zhou had the dragon-slaying king's will. There was naturally no need to mention Bai He, so the 3 of them were not affected. Stand here and don't move. Be at ease and accept the test from the heroic spirits. If you have a guilty conscience or feel that your character is not up to standard, I advise you to leave this place as soon as possible, Bai He said calmly. Suin pursed his lips. He saw his lord looking at him encouragingly just as he was about to say something. For reasons unknown, Suin felt inexplicably certain when he saw Zhou's gaze. He didn't say anything, just nodded. Bai He did not say anything else. The entire heroic spirit temple suddenly fell silent. Zhou and Bai He looked at the taciturn young man with the blood shadow sword on his back. Especially Zhou. He looked at Suin with anticipation and confidence. Zhou was naturally at ease about Suin's background because he was a talent attracted by his reputation rating. As for his personality, Zhou was also very confident. The source of his confidence came from his 6 senses. As the owner of the Chaos human bloodline, Zhou's 6 senses would also strengthen every time his Chaos human bloodline advanced. In the beginning, the performance of his enhanced 6 senses was very average. For example, he could see further and clearer visually. He could hear further and more clearly in his hearing. He could smell further and clearer, and his sense of smell was stronger. His sense of touch was also clearer and sharper. As for the last 6th sense, which was sensory from the heart, it was the only obvious sensory improvement he felt. It was a little similar to talent danger prediction, but the effect was weaker than danger prediction. Moreover, not only could it sense danger in advance, it could also vaguely sense things that were good to it and other things. It was a little like predicting fortune and misfortune. It was just that this precognition was not very obvious. However, he could feel that his six senses had improved by leaps and bounds after he used many bloodlines to upgrade his Chaos Human to the Diamond tier, especially sensory from the heart, which had awakened a new ability. Distinguishing good and evil. He could directly determine the good and evil of a life form through his intuition. Even someone like Suin, who had lost most of his past memories. He could determine if he was a bad person in the past with sensory from the heart. Suin was clearly not. That was why Zhou trusted him so much. Even though he had just joined his territory, he had immediately prepared the hero inheritance for him after he assassinated many lords of the myriad races. If Suin was an evil person, Zhou would not give him any benefits no matter how talented he was. At this moment, the many heroic spirits in the heroic spirit hall finally changed. A statue of a young human dressed as a swordsman with a long sword opened its stone eyes and looked at Suin. Right on the heels of that was a black-clothed assassin holding two daggers. He opened his stone eyes and looked at Suin. Then, an old statue with many hidden weapons hanging on its body opened its eyes and looked at Suin. The heroic spirits opened their eyes one by one and looked at Suin. At first, Baihe's expression was still calm. However, when the number of heroic spirits who opened the stone eye reached 10, a ripple appeared in his eyes. So many heroic spirits acknowledged this kid. It seemed that this kid's character was indeed not bad. A moment later, when the number of heroic spirits who opened the stone eye reached 20, he raised his eyebrows slightly. One had to know that when his disciple, Rob Allen, came here, he only opened the eyes of the 16 heroic spirits. He did not expect this young man to surpass him now. This kid's future was limitless. Baihe sighed with emotion. At the same time, the heroic spirits were still opening their eyes. Soon, a total of 30 heroic spirits opened their eyes. Baihe's expression became serious. 30 heroic spirits. This was enough to rank in the top 10 in the history of the human race. The first place naturally belonged to Zhou. Many higher-ups of the human race agreed. The reason why Zhou made all 312 heroic spirits open their eyes that time was not because he could satisfy them all. It was because there were only 312 heroic spirits in the heroic spirit hall at that time. A moment later, no heroic spirit in the entire heroic spirit hall finally continued to open their eyes to look at Su and Bai. He took a deep breath. A smile also appeared on Zhou's face. A total of 46 heroic spirits opened their eyes. Suin did not disappoint me. Temple Lord Bai. How's the potential of my subordinate? Zhou looked at Baihe and said with a smile. He can be ranked amongst the top 5 geniuses of the human race. Baihe was silent for a few seconds before saying. He glanced at Zhou and thought of the cardinal beside him who could revive heroes and many other capable people. There were even subordinates of the dragon race. He even felt a little sour. Why does this kid have so many talents around him? He could not help but recall when he first learned that the Supreme Will was going to attract lords of all races from the myriad worlds to compete for the position of the Lord of all races. At that time, he felt that even if the Supreme Will were to get the best talents over, they might not be able to defeat veteran lords like them. The native life forms on the High Continent had been operating in the High Continent and other worlds for a long time after all. Their foundation was already extremely deep. These lords of all races had just arrived. What could they do even if their talent was astonishing? Now that he saw the Lord of the Blazing Sun with endless means and capable people, his thoughts had been wavering. Could it be that the Supreme Will had long expected such a thing? So he gave up on them and chose the lords of all races from the myriad worlds? He thought for a few seconds, then sighed in his heart and stopped thinking about it. It was useless after all. So is Temple Lord Bai willing to agree to my request? What level of hero can your cardinal, the goddess of life, revive now? Baihe looked at him and asked. Extraordinary tier intermediate grade and heroes below the extraordinary tier intermediate grade can be revived. Zhou said. The level of resurrection is too low. Baihe frowned. I have no choice. If I want to increase the level of resurrection, I can only do so when the level of my territory increases in the future. In addition, I'm still lacking in a resurrection condition. Without this resurrection condition, I can't get her to resurrect heroes for you. However, it's not difficult to achieve this condition, Zhou said. The condition he mentioned was naturally a treasure like the Holy Spirit tier faith divine crystal. However, he could drop one every 2 to 3 days even though this thing was rare. Therefore, Zhou was not worried that it would delay the resurrection. He looked at him speechlessly. So you didn't prepare anything and want to obtain the hero inheritance of a god-tier heroic spirit from me with just your mouth, right? He shook his head in his heart and did not say anything. The other party's resurrection ability existed after all. As long as he had this ability, everything else was a small problem. He pondered for a moment and said, "This matter is very important. I have to hold a high-level meeting of the human race. But don't think too much about it. There's an 80% chance that this matter will be passed." Zhou nodded and smiled. He actually did not dare to guarantee anything before he came. He heaved a sigh of relief now that he saw that it had really worked. At this moment, a blood-red light suddenly erupted in the distance. This light rushed straight to the roof of the heroic spirit hall. Then it actually ignored the roof and pierced through it. In the end, it shot into the sky like a sharp light. This spectacular scene stunned Zhou. What is going on? Has your heroic spirit hall been invaded? He subconsciously wanted to protect his subject, Suin, and bring him out of this dangerous place. Then, he realized that Suin, who had been behind him just now, had disappeared. He hurriedly looked around and finally discovered a blurry figure where the black light was. It was Suin. Zhou's heart skipped a beat. This kid wouldn't run around and trigger some special mechanism in such an important place to the human, right? Zhou had no doubt that there were a large number of protective mechanisms here that could instantly kill people. He glanced at Bai beside him and was stunned. Bai was also a little stunned at first, but soon, his expression became strange. It seems that this little friend of yours is very much liked by one of our heroic spirit seniors. Bai looked at Zhou and shook his head helplessly and happily. What do you mean? Zhou was stunned. Bai did not say anything and only walked towards Suin. Seeing this, Zhou immediately followed. The two of them quickly arrived behind Suin. At this moment, Suin and a heroic spirit statue were enveloped in the blood-red light. At this moment, he was wearing blood-red assassin clothes from head to toe. The blood shadow sword on his back was also trembling violently, emitting a crisp and fierce sword hum. Zhou looked at the heroic spirit statue. This was a very normal statue of the heroic spirit of a human swordsman. He had his long hair tied up and was wearing black casual clothes. He held a blood sword and stood on the peaceful spirit stone, looking into the distance. This scene looked ordinary, but in the heroic spirit hall where more than 300 heroic spirits gathered, this ordinary-looking ordinary person became the most extraordinary. Zhou's gaze landed on the introduction engraved on the divine calming stone. What he saw stunned him. High-level god-tier hero blood shadow sword demon. This person's name was Luo Yi. He had been adopted by the assassin organization of the people of foreign races since he was young. The assassin organization had nurtured him as an assassin. At that time, he did not know that he was a human. In the end, he was instilled with the concept of him being a life form of the people of foreign race by the people of foreign race assassin organization since he was young. And then, he was sent by this assassin organization to assassinate the human race. In the eyes of outsiders, this behavior of the assassin organization could be said to be a perverted cultivation method that killed people's hearts. Their goal was to let Luo Yi know that there was no turning back after he woke up and completely submit to this assassin organization. However, after Luo Yi became an adult and became the #1 assassin of this organization, the Blood Shadow Sword, he knew that he had been assassinating his own kind. Even though I was extremely painful in the beginning, he did not let himself fall into a fallen. Instead, he decided to bear the sin of assassinating his own kind and aimed the blade of the Blood Shadow Sword in his hand at the assassin organization that nurtured him or even the faction of the race behind it to carry out his journey of penitence. On the day he had such a realization, he had become a hero. Moreover, it was a low god-tier hero with a fate-level slot Blood Shadow Sword. In the days that followed, The Blood Shadow Sword Luoyi had been using it to assassinate the higher-ups of the Lord factions that had ill intentions towards the human race. From the higher-ups of the Kingdom-level Lord faction to the higher-ups of the Empire-level Lord faction. Even the higher-ups of the Divine Kingdom Lord faction. His assassination methods were superb and unfathomable. Even a true god tier could not stop Luo Yi's assassination, who was only a mid-level god tier at that time. Luo Yi. At that time, it could be said that he had proved the terror of the assassin profession alone. During the period when the human race's Blood Shadow Sword Luo Yi's reputation was at its peak, countless lords of the races who had ill intentions towards the human race were all terrified, afraid that a blood light would flash in a corner of the shadow rays and destroy their lives. In an era where Master God Tier did not appear, Luo Yi had almost no enemies in his life. Only true God Tier could pose a threat to him, but they could at most force him to retreat and could not destroy him. Until he was old. Luo Yi, who was already a high-level God Tier advanced grade and had the high God Tier Hero Fate level slot, fought a true God Tier of the people of foreign race in the wilderness. In the end, this true God Tier of the people of foreign races returned to the race seriously injured and died not long after. Luo Yi also went missing. Blood Shadow Sword? Could it be Su En's Blood Shadow Sword? It should be the same one from the reaction of the Blood Shadow Sword Demon Heroic Spirit. But if it's the same one, why is it in Su En's hands? Zhou Zhou looked at the sword in the Heroic Spirit statue's hand, and then at the trembling sword on Su En's back. He looked at Su En, becoming more and more interested in his past. At the same time, he also noticed the abnormal movements of the sword on Su En's back. This little guy obtained Luo Yi's inheritance before coming here. And he's actually obtaining it again now? He muttered, feeling very surprised. This was the first time he had seen such an unbelievable coincidence even though he was so old. After a long time, under Zhou Zhou's surprised gaze, the heroic spirit statue of the Blood Shadow Sword Demon gradually lost the luster of the heroic spirit and turned into an ordinary statue without any special aura. Su En's body gradually emitted the pressure of a powerful hero's fate. The Blood Shadow Sword on his back trembled, looking extremely excited. Only he sighed softly with a helpless expression. After a long time, Su En opened his eyes. He looked at the heroic spirit statue that had darkened in front of him and said nothing, his expression sad. "What's your relationship with Luo Yi?" At this moment, Bai He's voice sounded. "Is Luo Yi the name of the old beggar? I only know now. He and I are friends," Su En said. Zhou Zhou and Bai He had strange expressions, but he didn't say anything and listened to him continue. "I once went on an assassin quest and almost died myself because the target was an extremely powerful opponent, even though the assassination was successful. I fainted in a dilapidated room. When I woke up, I realized that I had been saved by an old beggar. That's how I met him. Later on, he said that my assassination methods were not good, so he taught me the assassination methods of assassins. In return, I bought food for him so that he won't be hungry. Then he died a few years later." "How did he die?" He immediately asked. "He died of illness in his dilapidated house," Su En said calmly. He fell silent. The human experts who had once terrified the upper echelons of the people of foreign races actually ended their lives in such a way. He sighed in his heart. Before the old beggar died, he said that he did not regret his choice and told me not to cry. His only request is for me to leave the Night Empire and fight for the human race. Kill all the people of foreign races who are hostile to the human race. Su En said. "Have you recovered your memories?" Zhou Zhou saw through something and asked. Su En nodded. "I remember now." After hearing the old beggar's last words, I, who was already a little tired of the Night Rakshasa Tower, began to want to leave it and return to the human race. At that time, I thought that I had contributed enough to the Night Rakshasa Tower all these years. I wanted to have a clear conscience and not owe them anything even if I leave the place. In the end, the Night Rakshasa Tower promised me on the surface and gave me one last quest. They said that as long as I completed this last quest, they would allow me to leave the Night Rakshasa Tower and become a free person. But in fact, they set up a large number of ambushes and experts in this mission to kill me. I fought with them openly and covertly for more than half a year before I barely escaped their pursuit. I came to the Lord and was taken in by him. Thank you, my Lord, for taking me in and treating me so well. I won't be able to repay you even if I die 10,000 times. Towards the end, Suan suddenly knelt down and said sincerely, in his memory, only the Lord was so good to him other than the old beggar who was sincerely good to him. Get up. It's good that your memories have been restored. Jojo smiled. Anyone could tell that he was really happy. Then, he looked at his personal information. Subject: Suan, Hero Unit. Hero Title: Knight Rakshasa Sword God. Position: High-level God-tier Heroes Fate Level. Territory: Blazing Sun Territory. Strength Level: Epic Tier Elementary Grade. Ability Overview: He was carried away by the Knight Empire since he was young and nurtured into a top-notch assassin. Later, with the help of the Blood Shadow Sword Demon, he resolved to return to the human race and fight for the human race. After many twists and turns, he finally returned to the human race and encountered a wise master. He walked his own heroic path after a series of coincidence and fate. Bloodline: Human Bloodline, Mid-Level God-Tier Advanced Grade, 100%. Skills: Talent, Natural Assassin. Talent, Danger Premonition. Talent, Strong Concealment. Talent, Breathless Walking. Talent, Dragon Slaying Will. Hero Skill: 7 Swords Killing Move. Hero Skill: Knight Rakshasa True Body. High-Level God-Tier Advanced Grade 7 Death's Book, Yet to Master. High-Level God-Tier Advanced Grade Blood Shadow Kill, Yet to Master. High-Level God-Tier Advanced Grade Boundless Blood Shadow, Yet to Master. Epic Tier Elementary Grade Child of the Night Constitution, Fake. High-Level God-Tier Advanced Grade Hidden During the Day, Yet to Master. High-Level God-Tier Advanced Grade Empty Step, Yet to Master. High-Level God-Tier Advanced Grade Creating an Empty Puppet, Yet to Master. High-Level God-Tier Advanced Grade Dark Knight Screen, Yet to Master. Loyalty: 100, Dead Loyal. Potential: True God-Tier Advanced Grade, Hero Biography. 1. Before becoming a hero, he was nurtured by the Knight Rakshasa Tower of the Knight Empire. With the strength of an Epic Tier Elementary Grade, he became a Knight Rakshasa that only the legendary tier child of the Knight could become. Hero's Personal Reputation Rating +1. Knight Spirit Race Reputation +50. 2. With the help of the Lord of the Blazing Sun, the Knight Temple, and the Blood Shadow Sword Demon, he obtained the hero inheritance of the Blood Shadow Sword and walked his own path, becoming the Knight Rakshasa Sword God. Hero's Personal Reputation Rating +10. Human Race Reputation +200,000. High Continent Reputation +50. Jojo gasped slightly after reading it. Good God, this kid is actually so powerful. Not only had he obtained the Blood Shadow Sword Demon's hero inheritance, he had also used this opportunity to walk his own heroic path and become the Knight Rakshasa Sword God. His potential had directly jumped to the true God-tier advanced grade. It was comparable to the potential of that little fellow, Xiao Xian. Still, how did you become a hero so quickly? There's more. What's going on with this heroic spirit inheritance? Jojo pointed at the dim statue of the Blood Shadow Sword Demon Luo Yi. He was still a little uncertain even though he had some guesses. Suan shook his head blankly. At this moment, he shook his head and said, "This little guy obtained the true recognition of the Blood Shadow Sword Demon Luo Yi. Therefore, he was directly enlightened by Luo Yi with the power of his heroic spirit, saving the process of inheritance. He directly became a hero. But there's a price. The price is, Luo Yi's Blood Shadow Sword Demon inheritance has disappeared. It's completely gone. That's why this heroic spirit statue became like this." At this point, Baihe's gaze landed on Suan with a complicated and gratified expression. Jojo blinked. "What about the higher-ups of the human race? I'll go and explain to them." Baihe shook his head helplessly. The sudden disappearance of a high-level God-tier heroic spirit inheritance would be quite troublesome to explain even if there was a reason. He felt that it was better to go to the abyss and fight for 10 days and 10 nights than to explain the situation to those dawdling higher-ups of the human race. Zhou looked at He with a smile. How could he not know that he had already taken advantage of the other party? Originally, matters related to the inheritance of a high-level god tier would definitely have to be discussed in many meetings at the Night Temple. This was timely. It was a foregone conclusion because of what this blood shadow sword did. However, the Night Temple would not lose anything. The higher-ups of the human race would most likely agree with his conditions anyway. It only accelerated this process now. The conditions I mentioned before won't change. We still have something to do, so we'll leave first. Lastly, thank you, Temple Lord Bai. Zhou smiled. Get going, get going. He shook his head and did not say anything else. Thank you, my lord. Suan also thanked He before he left. Don't let down the inheritance Luo Yi gave you even though you've already walked your own path. He looked at Suan and said calmly. He's considered my teacher. I won't let him down. Suan said solemnly. He looked at him for a long time before a smile appeared on his face. Go. See you next time, my lord. Suan said respectfully and chased after Zhou. He suddenly stopped them just as the two of them were about to walk out of the heroic spirit hall. Lord of the Blazing Sun, if you have time, bring all your human heroes to the heroic spirit hall and leave their hero inheritance for us humans. This won't do them any harm, He said. Zhou was stunned for a moment before nodding seriously. At the moment, he had a good impression of the humans in the High Continent and had also accepted many benefits from the Night Temple. Leaving them a hero inheritance was just a small matter. Then, the two of them walked out of the heroic spirit hall without saying anything else. Outside the heroic spirit hall, when Zhou and Suan walked out, the Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea, Rob Allen, and Lu Kai immediately surrounded them. This is successful? Rob said in surprise when the three of them saw that Suan's condition was very different. It's not only successful, it has also undergone a tremendous change. The Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea had extremely sharp eyes. He could tell at a glance that Suan had gained a lot. This kid probably obtained an extraordinary hero's inheritance. Even I feel pressure from the difference in our standing, he exclaimed in his heart. As a retired hero of the Guardian Heroic Spirit Hall, he could naturally feel the astonishing pressure of Suan's hero slot, even though Suan had tried his best to suppress it. What level of hero fate level? By the way, how many heroic spirits open their eyes? Rob asked curiously. Suan looked at Zhou. Zhou did not say anything when he heard Rob's words and the gazes of the surrounding people. He only smiled. It's not convenient for us to talk about this. You can ask Temple Lord by yourself when he emerges. I still have something on. It's related to the arrangements of the Supreme Will, so I won't talk much about it. Everyone, see you next time. After saying that politely, Zhou did not say anything else and left with Suan. The Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea, Rob Allen, and Lu Kai did not stop them to ask in detail. He had already mentioned the Supreme Will. What else could they say? Rob Allen and Lu Kai, who were the most curious, could only suppress their curiosity and wait for He to come out. A moment later, He walked out of the heroic spirit hall. Rob and Lu Kai immediately asked He the same question. After he entered the heroic spirit hall, he obtained the recognition of 46 heroic spirits and made them open their eyes. In the end, high-level god-tier hero, Blood Shadow Sword Demon Luo Yi used his remaining heroic spirit power to guide him directly to become a hero. As soon as these words were spoken, even the knowledgeable Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea widened his eyes in surprise. He looked at Rob with an extremely disappointing gaze just as they were in shock. You're not to slack off in your cultivation in the future. Go to the front line of the abyss yourself later. Don't come back to see me unless you've slaughtered 100,000 demons. Rob, what? When did I ever slack off? He did not say anything else and left. Little Rob, you have to work harder in the future. Haha. Your teacher is clearly worried that you will be caught up by that up-and-coming talent just now. TSK. a high-level God-tier fate level slot. Moreover, it looks like he has walked his own hero path. I haven't seen a junior with such strong aptitude in a long time. In the future, perhaps our human race will have another pillar like your teacher. The Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea chuckled, then sighed. Rob also understood his teacher's intentions. Teacher, do you think I'll be surpassed by that person? Thinking of this, Rob did not feel any negative emotions. Instead, a shocking fighting spirit surged in his heart. He had the slot of a high-level god tier. Wasn't it the same for him? In terms of the difference between him and the other party, it might just be the difference in the number of hero recognitions. But so what? He was already a legendary tier advanced grade hero and was only a step away from becoming a god. And the other party was only a new epic tier elementary grade hero. It would probably take a lot of time for him to catch up to him, let alone surpass him. I'll want to prove it to teacher. I will always be his most outstanding and proud disciple, Rob said solemnly. Then, he carried the silver spear on his back and turned to walk towards the abyss battlefield teleportation array deep in the Night Temple without another word. This kid? The Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea smiled, looking very gratified and satisfied. Lu Kaier blinked and did not say anything else. She chased after Zhou after bidding farewell to the Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea. It's good to be young. The Lord Guardian of the Hidden Sea thought of the three young people he had seen today and the vigorous feeling on their bodies. They were filled with hope and fighting spirit while he could not help but sigh. After Zhou and Suan returned, he asked Suan to go to the Blazing Sun Army's base first and asked Bai Yun to arrange his new position. Then, he came to the Gate of Summoning and began today's summoning. Prompt. Do you want to summon immediately? Yes. Zhou looked at the Gate of Summoning in front of him. The next second, the Gate of Summoning suddenly lit up with a bright white light. Then a large number of subjects walked out. A moment later, the 1,675 new subjects walked out of the Gate of Summoning. Greetings, my lord. X1, 675 all the new subjects said respectfully. Welcome to Blazing Sun City. Zhou nodded. Then, he asked all the professionals to stand up and realized that he had summoned 96 professionals this time. There were 21 more professionals than usual. Then, he began to check the information of these professional subjects. Among the 96 professional subjects, among them were 1 white platinum tier intermediate grade doctor, 1 white platinum tier intermediate grade blacksmith, 1 white platinum tier intermediate grade tailor, 1 white platinum tier intermediate grade businessman, and 1 white platinum tier intermediate grade bricklayer. The rest were life professionals and combat professionals below the yellow gold tier. Zhou looked at the 5 white platinum tier intermediate grade professionals and was very satisfied. The territory's level increased to white platinum tier. It already began to need more conditions if the territory wanted to level up again. One of the conditions was that there had to be life professionals and combat professionals of the corresponding level. Zhou naturally did not have to worry about the number of combat professionals with the blessing of the war god. However, lifestyle professionals were Zhou's territory's shortcoming. Therefore, under such circumstances, the high-level lifestyle professionals summoned from the Gate of Summoning not only concerned the quality of the territory's life and professional development, it also concerned the future upgrade requirements of the territory. If Li Yuangan is really willing to give me the Aurora Kingdom, I wonder if the current professionals in the Aurora Kingdom are enough for me to upgrade my territory to what level? Zhou thought to himself. However, he did not have much expectations. After the invasion of the Taiyan Kingdom, the Aurora Kingdom had less than 10% of its vitality left. Even if he obtained the entire Aurora Kingdom, he might not obtain much benefits. He was already mentally prepared. Therefore, he stopped thinking about it and came to the golem lair. He summoned the 126 golems today and came to the Blazing Sun Army's base. He led the soldiers to sweep through the time ruins and finally came to the monster ranch. A total of 34 monster ranches stood here. As many as 511,000 fog monsters lived inside, looking quite lively. Zhou looked at the distribution of the monsters in the 34 monster ranches. Among them, the desert fog lizard, the black-tailed fog scorpion, the wild sand believers, and the undead knights each occupied 2 monster ranches. In total, they occupied a total of 8 monster ranches. Among the remaining 26 monster ranches, the Sandman, construction materials, source of the light-drawing crystal, and the withered tree each occupied 3 monster ranches. The iron-eating bear, the source of the iron-eating bear's pet egg, and the mechanical fear falcon, the source of the fear falcon wings and the fear falcon 3 radar, each occupied 4 monster ranches. The remaining 12 monster ranches were all owned by the violent storm demon spirit and were specially used to produce kingdom-level combat class violent storm spirits. Zhou nodded. Mu Gu's arrangements were exactly what he wanted. He did not say anything else and began to clean up the monster ranches with nearly 1.2 million soldiers. These 511,000 were all dealt with by them in less than half an hour under this astonishing military strength. Zhou also obtained the list of loots for the day after Baiyun commanded the soldiers to retrieve the loots of all the ranch monsters. With the effect of the perfect loots and his titles, he obtained a total of 37,638,489 green bronze tier mist cores, 14,961,768 white silver tier mist cores, 6,973,672 yellow gold tier mist cores, 3,345,763 white platinum tier mist cores, and 102,000 diamond tier mist cores. 1,526,952 soldier type class change certificates, 40,406 sword shield soldier recruitment books, 39,920 Pudeo soldiers recruitment books, 41,205 poison crossbow soldier recruitment books, 384 elemental archer recruitment books, 132,200 Aurora Cavalry recruitment books, 180,000 Violent Storm Spirit recruitment books, 180,000 Violent Storm Spirit class change certificates, 154 fragments of the Proof of Legion, 213,822 true Faith tier Scarlet crystals, 171,035 Pious tier Scarlet crystals, 135,222 Fanatic tier Scarlet crystals, 1 Holy Spirit tier Scarlet crystal, 155 White Platinum tier and Yellow Gold tier mount contracts. As for loots such as the Light Drawing crystal, the Tree Core gem, and the Elemental gem, there was no need to elaborate. Zhou was quite satisfied when he saw the list. The benefits of 34 White Platinum tier intermediate grade monster ranches were indeed quite terrifying. The income of the Mist Core alone was 50 to 60 times that of yesterday. The number of soldier-type recruitment books had also reached an astonishing 434,115. It was almost comparable to 20% of the troops sent by the Lords of the Alliance Insight Defection yesterday. What surprised Zhou the most was that a Holy Spirit tier Scarlet crystals had dropped during the cleaning up of the Monster Ranch today. Zhou could only say that it came at the right time. He had just discussed the resurrection of the hero with the Night Temple when they turned around and sent him a Holy Spirit level Scarlet crystals. Not bad at all. Zhou was very happy with this opening ceremony. Perhaps it would not be long before he could repay the resurrection quota he owed the Night Temple because of Suin. Then, Zhou handed the more than 430,000 recruitment books to his subordinates to summon through the Gate of Summoning. Then, he took out 1.5 million soldier-type class change certificates and excess loots from these loots and threw them into the marketplace. Then, he looked at the advancement of the human soldiers. A total of 871,866 of the 1,193,556 soldiers who cleared the Monster Ranch this time had been promoted. Among them, 185,012 people had advanced to the Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade and Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. 76,243 people advanced from Black Iron Tier to Green Bronze Tier. 222,160 people advanced to the White Silver Tier. 153,902 people advanced to Yellow Gold Tier. 131,302 people advanced to the white platinum tier. 101,022 advanced to diamond tier. 2,225 people had advanced to the extraordinary tier. He now had 146,362 black iron tier soldiers under his command. There were 144,680 green bronze tier soldiers. 132,583 white silver tier. 23,591 yellow gold tier. 184,802 white platinum tier. Diamond tier 123,346. 2,241 extraordinary tier. Zhou nodded in satisfaction. He currently had a total of 2,241 extraordinary tier soldiers under his command. There were already more than 100,000 diamond tier soldiers. This was a very shocking number of high-level soldiers even among kingdom-level strength. The current me is only short of a true kingdom organization that belongs to me, Zhou thought. Then, he shook his head and stopped thinking about it. He came to the Lord shop beside the beginner-grade Lord's Paradise. Old Zhou, what's new today? Zhou asked. Old Zhou was scrolling through videos on his phone. This scene made Zhou's eyebrows twitch. He felt that this old Zhou was different from him. At the same time, his thoughts were wandering. He did not know if the military industry lord had the ability to replicate phones on the high continent. He did not want anything else but the communication function. With the communication function of the phone, the development of their territory would definitely speed up again in the future. I'm here. At this moment, old Zhou had already arrived at the counter. He took out 3 boxes from under the counter and placed them in front of Zhou. He opened them one by one. Zhou looked at them. In the 3 boxes were a book, a golden card, and a mist core. Zhou first looked at the silver card. Card name, Beginner Shop Discount Card. Card level. Special. Card effect. If the Lord has this card, the Lord can buy the designated goods at a 30% reduction in price in the Lord shop. Card description. An exclusive card from the Lord shop. It can be used for discounts. Zhou could not help but raise his eyebrows when he saw the effect of this card. It was not bad. It would not be inferior to the designated subject commodity card he had obtained previously if it appeared as an especially expensive Lord shop commodity. Then, Zhou looked at the next item. It was a book. Zhou took a look and realized that it was the Violet Cloud Divine technique that he had already mastered. Zhou naturally would not forget this epic tier advanced grade martial arts manual. He would make time to practice it for a while every day. However, this was not what Zhou cared about. Instead, there was a text notification at the end of the introduction to the Violet Cloud Divine technique. Text hint. This good can be handed over to the territory subjects for them to use. Zhou was a little surprised when he saw the notification. The goods produced by the Lord shop were all goods especially used by the Lord. Under normal circumstances, they could not be used by subjects. This was the first time Zhou had seen such goods that could be handed over to the subjects. Zhou did not think for long before he decided to buy it. He already had many dojos in his territory. However, the martial masters in charge of these dojos actually did not have many outstanding martial arts manuals to teach the subjects. This was timely. With the Epic Tier Advanced Grade Martial Arts Manual, the Violet Cloud Divine Technique, he could completely hand it to a martial master and let the martial master impart it to the subjects in the territory. The fee would not be very expensive, just an acceptable price for normal subjects. Zhou did not expect his subjects to be very strong. He just wanted to give his subjects a way to become stronger. Who should be this martial artist? Zhou thought for a moment and casually called a soldier over to call Luofeng over. As for the final product, it was only a yellow gold tier mist core. Zhou was naturally not interested. How much are these 3 goods? Zhou asked. The beginner shop discount card is worth 10 legendary tier mist cores and 1 legendary tier territory token. The Violet Cloud Divine Technique is worth 20 epic tier mist cores and 2 epic tier territory tokens. This yellow gold tier mist core only requires 1 white Silver tier mist core to purchase. Zhou Chengmin smiled. Zhou nodded and took out 21 legendary tier mist cores, 22 epic tier mist cores, and 1 white silver tier mist core expressionlessly. Then, he handed them to the other party and took away all 3 goods. What? You think I'm not interested? That's not the case. So what if it is a yellow gold tier mist core? A mosquito's leg was still meat. Come again next time. Zhou Chunlin put away the mist core and chuckled. Zhou nodded and brought these things back to his beginner lord blessed land. In the beginner grade lord's paradise. In the conference room, Zhou opened the marketplace and checked the loot transactions released yesterday. As expected, all 10 million skill books and 20 million equipment had been sold. Trade result: 69,750,315,135 black iron tier mist cores. Zhou's eyes widened. Good God! Nearly 70 billion black iron tier mist cores. In other words, there were nearly 700 legendary tier mist cores. Ridiculous. However, he realized that it was quite normal. This was because he had obtained more than 2.2 billion black iron tier mist cores from the 500,000 skill books and 500,000 equipment he sold yesterday. Now that the number had increased by a total of 300 times, it would indeed be around this price coupled with the fact that the grade of the goods had increased by a small level. At this moment, the heartache Zhou felt from buying goods instantly disappeared. It was just more than 20 legendary tier mist cores. Nothing but a splash in the ocean of his wealth. I've something to report, my lord. Vice City Lord Zheng and Luofeng request an audience. Also, the princess of the Aurora Kingdom, Liya, and her maid are also here. They also want to see the lord. At this moment, Aliyah quickly walked over and reported respectfully. Liya's back? Zhou was stunned. Bring Uncle Zheng and Luofeng to me. As for Liya, arrange for her to rest in another reception room. Tell her that I'm busy. Zhou said. Time is tight now. Business had to be given the priority. Yes, my lord. Aliyah said respectfully and turned to leave. A moment later, Zhang Yuanqi and Luofeng came over. Greetings, my lord. The two of them said respectfully. Uncle Zhang, what's wrong? Zhou looked at Zhang Yuanqi. Reporting to my lord, I just learned that you want the human subjects and monster subjects in the territory to live in separate cities. I have a question. What should we do if the human subjects or monster subjects suggest that they don't want to live separately? Zhang Yuanqi said. His Lord Insight Defection's monster subjects had been living in the Blazing Sun territory for a while. After living with the human subjects for a period of time, some of the monster subjects were not used to living in the same city as others. However, some monster subjects and human subjects had developed some friendship during the time they lived in Blazing Sun City. Such a monster subject might not be willing to leave this place in the face of the policy of living in separate cities. Of course, we'll respect their wishes. If there are monster subjects who are unwilling to live in another city, and its reputation among the neighbors is not so bad, then let them stay. Zhou said without hesitation. He was not a bad person who would force others to move. Naturally, he would not force his subjects to do anything they were unwilling to do. This also went against his original intention of treating the subjects of the various races equally. Then the city the monster subjects are moving to is? Zhang Yuanqi asked. Kingdom Beginning City. Zhou said without hesitation. He only had this one particular white platinum tier city under his command now, and not many people lived there. There were only the garrison troops he had sent over back then and the Blazing Sun City subjects who had moved there. Could be said that everything was waiting to be done. If the monster subjects went over, they could develop the city of Kingdom Beginning City. My lord is wise. I have no more questions. Zhang Yuanqi chuckled. Actually, he had similar thoughts about how to achieve such a thing. However, a wily old fox like him naturally could not make all the decisions alone. Where would he put the lord then? Therefore, even if he knew what to do, he had to come over and ask. He could also make his own suggestions for the lord and provide him with a few more directions to choose from. However, the lord had to be the one who made the final decision. Zhou Zhou looked at Luo Feng and raised his eyebrows, seeing that Zhang Yuanqi had no more problems. Extraordinary tier elementary grade? Yes, my lord, Luo Feng said respectfully. Tsk tisk. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. The last time he saw Luo Feng, he was protecting and teaching Xiao Xian. At that time, he was only at the diamond tier intermediate grade, even though he was also very strong. He had actually reached the extraordinary tier elementary grade now. He did not say much. It was understandable for his strength to increase so quickly with the blessing of the war god. Zhou Zhou then handed the Violet Cloud Divine Technique to Aaliyah, and Aaliyah handed the martial arts manual to Luo Feng. When Luo Feng saw this martial arts manual, he was stunned. He was naturally very familiar with this martial arts manual. He knew it himself, and this martial arts manual was personally sent over by Xiao Xian and him. Zhou Zhou did not waste his breath. He told him about building a dojo and teaching the Violet Cloud Divine Technique to the subjects in the territory. I know that you know the Violet Cloud Divine Technique, but there are more and more subjects in our territory. You definitely won't be able to teach them alone, so I gave you this martial arts manual because I wanted you to choose another suitable person to teach them. Then, we can teach the subjects in the territory this martial arts cultivation technique together. Zhou Zhou was very certain that the subjects would be willing to learn this martial arts manual. These life forms who survived in the high continent know that the world was filled with war after all. He might not have any other thoughts. However, even a child would have the heart to become stronger and protect themselves. Moreover, an epic tier advanced grade martial arts manual was enough for countless martial artists and ordinary people to pursue crazily in the high continent. With such a huge opportunity to become stronger in front of them, as long as they were not stupid, they would definitely come to learn to become stronger. Even those who did not have the chance to learn would probably create opportunities to learn it. As for Xiao Xian, he did not have to worry without Luo Feng's protection. In the past 2 days, Xiao Xian had fought in the final battlefield with them. Even though he had almost never attacked, his strength had also reached the white-silver tier advanced grade and was about to reach yellow-gold tier. Zhou Zhou was prepared to let Xiao Xian learn martial arts from Feng Luo, the 10-directional martial emperor, when he reached the yellow-gold tier in 2 days. With a hero like Feng Luo, who could be said to be a martial arts textbook, as Xiao Xian's teacher, he naturally would not delay Xiao Xian's future. Luo Feng was already old. He could just be a martial master in the territory. Zhou Zhou naturally would not mistreat him. Elder Zheng, the children 18 years old and below in the territory have the right to pay only 1 green bronze tier mist core to learn the Violet Cloud Divine Technique. Think of it as a compulsory martial arts lesson for the children of the territory. All the education expenses will be borne by our officials. Zhou Zhou suddenly thought of something and said to Zhang Yuanqi, a green bronze tier mist core. It was a free gift even for the poorest subjects in the territory. Zhou Zhou could do some extravagant things now that he had money in his pocket. My lord is merciful. X2 Zhang Yuanqi and Luo Feng immediately said respectfully. They admired and revered their lord. As an epic tier advanced grade martial arts manual, the Violet Cloud Divine Technique could be used as a cornerstone manual by big martial arts sects in the outside world. Ordinary disciples would probably have to go through many tests and pay a huge price to learn even if they wanted to. If it was some suspicious higher-ups of the martial arts world, they might hold this martial arts manual tightly in their hands and not easily divulge it to others so that the people below would not have the strength to resist them. However, the Lord distributed a martial arts manual of this level without hesitation. Moreover, he was letting the subjects learn it at almost no cost. The two of them admired their lord just thinking about it. His lordship really treated them as his own. Zhou Zhou smiled and did not say anything. Then, he chatted with the two of them for a while more before letting them do their work. Seeing this, Aaliyah also went to invite Li Ye and Yu Chao over. Have a seat. How's it going on His Majesty's side? Zhou Zhou asked with concern. Father is doing very well. He specially asked me to come here to thank you before I came. Leah smiled gently. When she returned to the capital and saw her father, she would never forget that her father, who had always been kind and serious, would actually reveal such an expression of joy. Her father did not have any worry on his face even though his country was on the verge of being captured. He was only extremely happy to see his daughter's rebirth. Leah naturally cherished this lost and regained kinship. At the same time, she was even more grateful to Zhou, who had given her everything. "You're my friend. I would have revived you even if your father didn't ask me to help." Zhou smiled. Leah pursed her lips and looked at Zhou with gentleness and something else. Yu Qiao, who was beside her, also looked at Zhou with admiration. "How are the Aurora Kingdom and the Taiyan Kingdom now?" Zhou asked after chatting with the two of them. "After you killed the Ice Soul Arrow Demon Wuxin, the remaining monster army of the Taiyan Kingdom seemed to have lost their backbone. They had no heart to continue attacking our Aurora Kingdom. In addition, the vengeful blood army of the Titan Kingdom is wantonly conquering the territory of the Taiyan Kingdom. The Taiyan Kingdom army led by the four-armed Mara King Taro can't stop it at all." The king of the Taiyan Kingdom had no choice but to order the withdrawal of the monster army in the Aurora Kingdom and return to support the four-armed Mara King Taro. Currently, the king of the Taiyan Kingdom is ordering the four-armed Mara King Taro to lead all the monster soldiers to fight against the vengeful blood army of the Titan Kingdom. The outcome shouldn't be determined in a short period of time. However, if the Taiyan Kingdom can hold on, they should be able to force the vengeful blood army back in the end. At that time, both countries shouldn't be able to attack our Aurora Kingdom. Our Aurora Kingdom is now temporarily relieved of the crisis of destruction," Leah said. Zhou nodded. His efforts during this period of time were not in vain. He was originally planning on bringing the soldiers to the Insight defection again if the Taiyan Kingdom did not give up on destroying the Aurora Kingdom. From the looks of it, there was no need. "Zhou, father asked me to tell you something before I came," Leah said. "What is it?" Zhou said. "He said that if you have time, you can come to the Aurora Kingdom to discuss the change of the monarch. You are the next king of the Aurora Kingdom. If you don't like the name of the Aurora Kingdom, you can change it after you become the king," Leah said. Zhou was silent for a long time before nodding. He could completely build a kingdom himself after gathering the number of territories with the kingdom token in hand. However, if a ready-made kingdom was directly sent to him, he would not refuse even if this kingdom had already been ravaged by war and had less than 10% of its foundation left. He would never hide his ambition, so he naturally would not be hypocritical. "Would you be unhappy?" Zhou looked at Leah and asked. "Are you talking about how you obtained the Aurora Kingdom from my father?" I won't be. On the contrary, I feel much more relaxed without the restrictions of my status as part of the royal family." Leah's gaze was wandering, as if she had thought of many things. "I'm not an only child. I have had many biological brothers. However, they all rushed to the battlefield and never returned for the safety of this country. In the end, I also took on the responsibility that my brothers shouldered and began to run around for this country. I admit that I love the people of this country and everything about it. I'll do anything for them. But when I'm done in the middle of the night and go back to bed, I'll also say to myself that I seem a little tired. Sometimes I want to live for myself, but the heavens never gave me this chance. Until I died. Then, I found out that father had decided to hand the Aurora Kingdom to you. I suddenly figured something out. I think I can finally live for myself now." Leah looked at Zhou with burning eyes. Zhou looked at her for a short while before he shifted his gaze sideways, not daring to look straight at the fire in her eyes.